Loot.bet, made for live betting.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for the final time of, well, at least the month or somewhat of the case. It is going to be the grand finals of the Loot.bet CS League Season 3, and it is going to be a best-of-3 series between Heretics versus HAVU. We are entering the final realm, the final dream, and here it is all going to be decided who will be your winner for Season 3 and who will be the second-placed loser, if we can say so. In any case, as always, I'm not alone. My good friend and co-caster Kieran going to be joining me, and well, we have one best-of-3 ahead of us, and this is gonna be crazy. Well, we have two effectively, but one for Season 3 and one for Summer Smash, but we'll get to the Summer Smash later on. This one is what's more important currently.
Yeah, this is looking like what is turning out to be a banger of a series. I think HAVU, with how they performed in their most recent series, with how they came in against Gambit Youngsters, looking so rough in that upper bracket, but then dropped down into lower.
Yeah.
They beat alternate attacks along the way. Dreamy is in that 2-0, Illuminar in that 2-1. They smashed Unique yesterday with that 2-0. Those two got a little more competitive, but I mean, at the end, they didn't really stand a chance. So Yeah, it all comes down to whether Heretics can slow this down. I mean, themselves having some really good results. They've also beaten similar teams as what HAVU have beaten, and in similar fashion as well, both getting 2-0s over Unique and Dream Eaters. One thing to be said, though, Heretics did play the ECS game last night. They dropped Inferno to a team that I've never heard of. I mean, I know Open Qualifiers are pretty ropey, but, like, Heretics probably shouldn't have been dropping the map. They did lose it 16-11, so it was quite a large margin as well. So, yeah, looking like it's going to be an interesting series. We are in Dust 2, of course, the map that we know that HAVU are pretty proficient on if they get off to a good start. We saw that against Unique with the 16-11, even with their chokes against Gambit and such. But
oh man, don't even.
This is off to a banger of a start. Pistol round to come, of course. Saw's gonna start things off well. First headshot onto Logan. Saw takes down one. Hoodie finds a second. And it seems like HAVU, they are off to a blinder of a beginning.
Yeah, this is pretty much a rocket start. It is going to be the pistol and most likely going in favor of HAVU in a 5-on-3 retake or a 3-on-5 retake. Heretics stand very little chance of actually breaking the defense. We can see the afterplant already set up perfectly. And Heretics, yeah, they're going to be saving this. Oh, man, we are starting off with a bang. Man, the ultimate series, the final series of Season 3 of Loot.bet CS League is here. And who would have thought we are going to be going into Heretics versus HAVU as the two grand finalists? I mean, looking at the group stages, it had been a completely different storyline. Heretics barely making it out alive. They had the 3-2 scoreline at the end, and they really were struggling at times. They really were having a tough progress through that group stage, but then seemingly something awaking within them through the playoffs. It was as if the group stages never mattered. 2-0 against Vex, 2-0 against Dream Eaters, 2-0 against Unique, as you said, both teams actually defeating Unique and of course Dream Eaters. But in the end, it doesn't matter. It's now in the grand finals. These two teams have to prove their worth for one more time in general in a series to try and make sure to prove to everybody that they are the best. Well, Jane and Maka certainly start off with a bang. 3 scouts. We haven't even considered this. And you know what I was about to say, Kieran? We had so many wacky games, wacky rounds, series that went so weirdly with gun rounds, with force buy rounds and such, that I never would expect the finals to go the same way, and hope they don't. But looks like, at least for the moment, Heretics, they lose 2, sure. It's a 3-on-2 retake that they can absolutely win here.
Yeah, this is looking at least a little better for Heretics now, with all 3 men on this sort of lower CT short position as well. Going to be a hard retake, especially now with Slowy spotted, but looking to try and work with that AK, not really getting all too much out of it, though. And if Maka, if he gets caught out here, which Slowy doesn't, nice first kill, does get spotted, I think, on the entrance to the bomb site, but I think he just slipped by the smoke, maybe not. Hoodie takes out David P, though, and it's all down to Jinx. Trying to get himself onto the defuse.
He's going to hold it.
Second smoke, going to try and hold it for 10 seconds, though the spam's got to come through from Hoodie.
He's going to get it.
Surely going to get it.
No way. He's actually going to get it. You got to be joking me. He actually gets it in Hoodie. Oh, Kieran, I had prayed when I went to sleep last night that we won't be seeing force buy rounds being dropped. I had prayed when I woke up this morning that we won't be seeing forced rounds being dropped. I guess my prayers have not been answered. And this is gonna be, I guess, the grand finals, the first map. The force buy works for Heretics. Yes, of course, it's a smoke diffuse with 10 seconds on the clock, but oh, come on. That is just too much to start the finals with.
Yeah, this is off to
a brilliant start.
Yep, as maybe as we should have expected.
Yeah.
HAVU, of course, going for a force buy of their own, trying to find some further success. Look at Twixie inside of the CT spawn right now. Free kill. Hoodie finds one more as well. Surely we're not going to see a round back to back, but it seems like it. So going to find one onto Maka, and well, it's all onto Jane and Logan. B-bomb site being lost. They're going to go for the save. HAVU win a round back, and it's starting how it means to go on. Force buy going to be won again by HAVU. Of course, Heretics probably buy up into the next, but oh boy, this is A big difference to what we saw at the beginning of HAVU on train for the previous best of 3 with Unique. Looking like it is off to such a back and forward start again. Heretics, though, saving a couple of the rifles, should be able to invest into a force for the next round, but just needing that one team to find the stability again. We know that HAVU can get so many rounds consecutively. They proved that against Unique and Illuminar yesterday.
Yeah.
But here we go.
They really did prove that, didn't they? The way they were able to make the comeback on train and nuke. And it wasn't really a comeback, more of a just, you know, destruction. Luminar didn't get a single round T-side. Both train and nuke. And that was one shaky series from the Poles. And of course we'll see them today again going in the grand finals of Summer Smash against Strict. But right now, back to it again. Heretics have forced up. Slowly this time reads the play towards blue. Logan still in pit. And if they don't snuff him out, then it looks like they'll be aware. Yeah, they will be aware. Maka, he fired off a shot through car. If they didn't hear that, he's going to be safe for at least a few more moments. He finds the first, finds the second. Maka finds 3. You gotta be kidding me, David! What? No way. Maka with the 3K, and then David comes out of the blue, out of the smoke, and just shuts down both of the 2 remaining players. Kieran, is this real life right now?
Do be like that sometimes.
It do be like that.
Oh boy, we are back to similar antics at the moment. Forced buy round again from HAVU. Oh, what are we seeing right now? Oh, thankfully, Jane does get 2 low HP of both Hoodie and Zori. Able to chime in. It's all onto Jinx now, down into that one-on-one. At least may be able to bag himself a bomb plant. Shouldn't be surviving any further. Does have a full set of utility.
Maybe.
Gonna shift around toward that lower section of the ramp, though. Get himself into a better position. Try and maybe catch him out. But as he moves his way up very slowly, catches the head. Simple shot to make. Heretics able to finally put a consecutive round on the board. Make it 3-2. HAVU themselves surely got to go for an eco this time. Only 2 players can buy, but we can never take away from this. They might even force things up. Who knows? But
I wouldn't be surprised.
Seriously, Zori can sort of, I believe, afford an AWP, or someone can. Yep. There we go. Of course, they're going to buy up here. Why wouldn't they?
Oh, man. Why wouldn't they exactly? It's a glass cannon, sure, but... Oh, he even gets the tag down on David P. This is turning out to be a... Yeah, I mean, can we really be surprised at this point? I think we can both bring up a good point in this case that we've been seeing this all season long, so shouldn't be a surprise, but it still is. Still, we are caught with a gasp in our speak. Oh my god. Well, okay. At least Heretics clear this off, right? They should be winning this. No longer a force buy victory coming out. Heretics with short control established, with the way they're posted right now, they look pretty solid in their position. Zora, no Kevlar, can't really do much. 4-2, and Heretics make it into 2 consecutive round victories. Finally, for the first time.
Finally.
Unreal.
Seriously, we should just expect games to start at like 4-4, 5-5, something like that these days.
Pretty much, right?
Just for the fact that these force buys are so sporadic at the moment. Not even too sure. Like, we just saw from like 1 week to the next, we saw like an instant change of no force buys being won, regular rounds, and then it was like, boom, something just changed, and we had like so many force buys being won. Logan picks off 2 through doors as well. Simple round for Heretics, 5-2. But yeah, it's getting to that point where, yeah, force buys for some reason over the past week, especially, I've not been watching any other CS because obviously we've been casting so much of it. I'm just like, yeah, I can't really, like, you know, not 9-10 hours of casting it and then watching it as well.
Yeah,
was
you
like,
don't have the energy. Neither
not
do
gonna
I.
do that.
Yeah.
So I sort of missed out on some of the
Recent games.
some of the games that were going on. Yeah, luckily there wasn't too much that I was like missing out on. Like
the major hasn't yet started, so we're good
I
on
think
that.
The only ones that I really wanted to watch were like probably the MDL relegations, and I was like, oh, the Pro League relegations. I was like, nah, not really that.
I was following the relegation matches with Heretics versus NAP and all that shenanigans against Wendigo. Like, I wasn't watching them, obviously, because we were casting at the same time. But I did catch... I was trying to see, you know, the results and see how the games picked up, how they had been going. And I have to say, Heretics, they looked solid. They looked good. And even in our tournament, even with, as I've already been saying, right through the playoffs, Heretics have looked pretty darn amazing, going down, going up 2-0 throughout every single best of 3. And yeah, here, HAVU, they're facing a tough opponent. The toughest thing they will face in this tournament, I think, I dare say. Maka, his off angle is so weird. You'd never even think he'd be there with the up, and then he just pulls a bullet in your face. The worst part is also that double op was already up for Heretics, and they got one of the ops, obviously, from HAVU, from Zora specifically. And I'm actually wondering, did they go for a secondary op here? Because no, okay, M4, fair enough. They want to play it a little bit safer, right? They don't want to joke around too much. This is, after all, the grand finals. There's no time to be joking around. But yeah, I have to agree also, as you were mentioning, the recent 2 weeks have seen such a change in CS. It's amazing. Like, at least in our tournament, in the 3rd season of Loot.bet CS League, this has been crazy. From 16-8, like 5, 6, 7, 8 games in a row for 16-8 ending maps, we went into no games going underneath 11, 10 rounds, plus every game starting with a trade of rounds left back and forth up until 5-5, 6-6, whatever. So it is a bit of a welcome change that Heretics take the lead. HAVU on the other side, Pistols and Kevlar. So we can't discount them out yet.
That's the thing, right? Jane's got a very quick short flank, though. I don't think they'll be too expectant of this. Yeah, it does get one. Great damage done to a couple, but Slowy able to at least trade things back, gets himself an M4. Maybe would like to see that offhanded to Twixie or something, just for the low HP. He's not really going to survive with it all too long. They will try and make their way down toward the B bomb site, though, but they know exactly what's happening. David has all the info in the world here.
Yeah. And
yeah, just going to post himself very nicely with that AUG. I don't think he was. Yeah. There we go. Twix is just like, I can do nothing. Just going to bounce in this little corner. Zora does find a nice trade back, but not really going to last too long. 7-2. Heretics off to a good start. HAVU now back on to their buy round. Thing is as well, HAVU were very reliant on their T side in some of their previous matches on Dust 2. We sort of spoke that when they were playing this map, they could get sort of 9-6 rounds on a CT side, then go into the second half and get like 7 in a row. Yeah, they did that against Unique. They did that against a couple of other sides as well. I mean, when they beat Dream Eaters 16-5, they had an 11-4 half.
That's crazy good.
And some of their games that they've played, they've got a really strong T side. I mean, on LAN they showed 10 rounds on Dust 2 on T side. So, like the fact that they're currently only on 2 rounds, if they lose this, it's surely going to be at least a 9-2. First half is already looking to get a little ropey for them, especially with a lot of reliance on this T side. So HAVU really need to win this gun round to step things up a little bit, or else Heretics will take a quite amountable lead in this first half.
The scary part is Heretics, once they take the lead, they're not known to let it go. They're not known to relax. They're just, you know, they up the ante even more. And HAVU, certainly their shakiness in the past can be proof of the fact that they are not impenetrable to any sort of mental strains or otherwise problems within the maps themselves. Against Gambit Youngsters, they choked twice, Train and Overpass, and they almost choked well, basically choked 3 times. So
thankfully they put it in a goddamn triple overtime.
Oh, that was too much. But of course, the point is that they are known to have issues, and if they don't resolve it fast enough within the start of the map, they tend to repeat those issues. We can see Jane pulling down, of course, another frag. It's going to be Hoodie and Saw left. Hoodie's been heard or at least spotted. The free kill is to Jinx now. 1-on-3. Saw has to win the engagement. He finds the first. Can't finish him, though. Oh, that is unfortunate. Back to Maka, Jane, and, well, Jinx. And just as we see it, as the saw will peek wide into CT, he gets a single frag, but unfortunately the refrag there always from Maka. 8-2 in HAVU. This is not exactly the start we had in mind for them. Certainly not the start that they had in mind for them. And I hope to see some resurgence. Otherwise, they are in deep trouble. And
yeah,
very soon at that.
This is starting to get a little ropey now for HAVU. Essentially, this buy round that they've got will be their last in this sort of next couple of rounds if they're not able to do anything with this. Gonna be a fast little play out toward a long, a lot of damage taken by Zore, though he's already down to 44. Down to 36, now to 20. Finally to be shut down by Maka, great first kill. The rest gonna be committing toward the A bomb site though, up through short.
Of course,
Maka as well though, yeah, just picks off Slowy so easily. Looking for at least a trade back. Twixie able to do so. Maybe makes a second. Jinx
failing.
Pretty big whiff there.
Yeah, that was a big fail from Jinx.
Down to the 3-on-3. HAVU actually looking a lot better in this one. Jane, though, does find the frag onto Saw. That now makes things a lot more difficult. Hoodie's quite the time away as well. And as it's all down to Hoodie. Will be able to find the first, but with so much time left on the clock, they've got to smoke to extinguish the flames as well, although David P is quite a while away. They have to get on the defuse right now if they want to do this.
Quickly.
Would have preferred the smoke to be dropped instead of the nade to stop him. There's another one, and he finds all three as well. That's how you save a round from Hoodie.
Yeah.
Perfect to put 3 on the board, but, I mean, you can't expect him to do that every round. Individual step up is good, but HAVU need to make this consistent now. Especially with the fact they can break the Heretics economy. This has to be a couple more rounds.
This is their entry back into this game, back into this first half. The Hoodie saving them was a clear sign that they have what it takes, but they just have to really put it all on the line, no longer playing as they used to, right? They felt too relaxed yesterday against Unique. We have to be honest. As soon as they won that first map 16-1 on Dust 2, you could see how much they changed their I wouldn't say mentality, more their energy kind of felt a little bit let loose more. You know, they kind of felt, oh, this is going to be easy for us. We don't even need to try too hard. And right now, it feels like they went with the same mentality against Heretics here into the first map, or at least the first few rounds, right? That they felt like, oh, we're going to win this without a shadow of doubt, right? We're going to take this no problem. And it is starting to kind of blow back a little bit. HAVU certainly not in the best of positions, but it looks like they should be able to secure one more. The retake on B not going to be happening. Heretics, they'll relinquish the fourth. And obviously, the half tie, if you want to call it that. Question is, can HAVU keep this up, right? That's the ever-lingering question in everybody's mind. They find a few rounds, sure. We've seen this before. We've seen the resurgence of HAVU in many a series before where they got up to 10, 11, 12, 13, even 14 rounds specifically. And they even had a lead of 14-8 in the past, yet still were unable to close it. Whilst for Heretics, every time we saw a good start for them, usually they closed out the map. If they had a bad start, if they were losing by a large margin, they made comebacks. And those comebacks were plenty enough. Always there.
Yeah.
So, HAVU, there is no time to be joking around. They have to take this extremely seriously, or they might face the wrath of the Frenchman.
That's the thing. They essentially have to make this an 8-7. Just for the fact that the T side is what they do tend to rely on. No, Logan and Jane able to open things up nicely. Zori will trade back a frag, but still. Man advantage is perfect. Jinx has all the information in the world. Already out to that B side of the map. Knows exactly what's happening at the moment. Knows there's a man being battled inside of mid. Jinx lets go of his position, though. Sprays just a little bit too preemptively. Thankfully, Maka will be able to trade it back. Keeps it level, or keeps the advantage for Heretics. A lot of the A-site control relinquished, though, yeah. And the fact that David P's now aggro inside of B tunnels again, they know exactly that it's clear. They have to get onto short and at least try and get some sort of site control. They know long is also clear as well.
No smoke. That's a problem, because Twixie has to stay on long, and if he stays on long with the op on site, they get rid of Zoray, then Twixie in a 1-on-3 or 1-on-2 against an op and a rifle. That's going to be an issue. The plant also not the best for long itself. Here comes Zoray. The angle is his. Maka shut down. The pop flash? Not really. That was a molly into Goose. Oh, Zoray. Exactly what you expect out of this guy. He was such a good player. Pretty much in every single series for HAVU. When he was quiet, HAVU lost. That's it. And seems like he's going to be having his fill again today. Logan, no chance. Look at Zoray. Look at Zoray. 4K. Easy. Making it look too easy even. HAVU. Lucky to be alive. Lucky to win here. Because they break Heretics. They are able to pull them onto an eco now. And for the first time in this game, in the 14th round, Heretics actually go onto pistols and Kevlar.
Yeah.
A chance for HAVU to take it up to 8-7.
Heretics as well going to be stacking themselves down onto that short position, knowing that HAVU they've been to the B site, what, once in 14 rounds?
Yep. The one
the
time
rest
they did.
of they won it as well. Yeah. The rest just being focused toward this A side of the map, so rightly so, Heretics stack in this position. They'd never stack B at the moment, knowing that HAVU favor this A side so much. And currently are making the right call, but with so much time left in the round, HAVU, their T side has been very simple. We've seen like no mid splits, no sort of control to be had from that CT lower position. I think the only time we saw that was Twixie in CT, and he got David P inside of the smoke. And that was the only time that they ever had any sort of control in that lower CT spawn position. So we'll see what HAVU can do in this one, but it seems like more of just a default walk toward A long. And yes, there is a lot of manpower on Heretics short position, but David P has to be the man to spot it, to call the rotate. Well, he hears the smoke that's going down. Nade will be good. Does very good damage. Pistols can now try and rein in. Saw finds one, makes it a second as well. David P will trade back onto Slowy, so some great damage done. Twixie tagged as well, but they seem to have it wrapped up. They seem to know exactly what's happening here, and there it is. 8-6. HAVU make this 7. This has actually been a very good T-side half for them. Heretics, they've seemingly slowed down since HAVU made that first gun round. It has stopped them in their tracks, and they've not got going since.
That's the thing. HAVU. I mean, it's exactly what they need. There's no doubt about it. And look at the spawn for B. They could have tried a bit of a B play. Maybe make a little bit of a mini marathon run, trying to go through lower to short. And they could actually catch a player on short as well, too. Jane and Logan going to be aggroing mid-control. But HAVU seems like they want to gather for the B storm. But this is a very quick commitment towards upper B before actually going for it. They're losing a lot of map because of it. And look at the boost on short. Logan, though, doesn't spot the off angle through the box. It slowly tags him out. Luckily, there's no frag. We've seen this actually before, the counter boost, both a tower on short and a tower on lower, and it works out for the T side better because of that off angle. And I think it was actually specifically against Heretics that was used, was it not? I think in the last series they played against Dream Eaters. No, actually, no, my bad. It was HAVU against alternate attacks, yeah. HAVU were using it against alternate attacks, and they got the frag on Slacks and killed either Dude or Crescent, but I'm not sure. So, yeah, certainly cannot be underestimated. HAVU, though, on the other side, they seem to be well composed at the moment. At least kind of relaxing their mind for a second, being able to see clearly. Maka, though, the peak, and the entry is his.
30 seconds left as well. HAVU do not have a lot of time, and especially losing that first man is not a good ordeal. Thankfully, Twixie able to trade this back, but they know now that it's going to be more of a rotate position. They do not have a lot of time for this right now. The bomb has to get there in, like, what, 13 seconds? I don't think they're even going to have time to plant here. It's going to be very, very close.
He's going to have 1 second. Yeah, he plants on the 4-second mark, so he has enough to pull it down. That was too close for comfort, but HAVU somehow still get away with 2 frags and somehow not yet diminished in their chances to win this round and close it out 8-7. What a successful return this would be, eh? Oh, the timing! Oh, you gotta be joking me! Back to Hoodie, it goes back to clutch for the Hoodie Meister. And unfortunately, no chance like such. Jesus. How does a 4-on-3 turn so wildly, so quickly? Within a blink of an eye, 3 players fall and back to Hoodie in a 1-on-3 to unfortunately fall prey to the last 2 men standing. 9-6 Heretics still close it out decently enough.
Yeah, still a pretty good end to the first half. Thankfully not going to have at least a massive deficit for HAVU. They did really well to make that back into 6 rounds, especially with what the scoreline could have been at the end of this first half. I mean, when they got up to what, like a 8-2, 9-2, something like that, or an 8-2. Yeah, they could have been an entirely different scenario. But yeah, so far Heretics, it's a good amount of rounds, but we know that HAVU, they can take this map. They've played it very well before.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No doubt in my mind. Of course, on top of that, we'll be going into a short commercial break coming up from Loot.bet, so stay tuned, and we shall return with our second pistol very soon.
Loot.bet. Made for live betting.
Second half, second pistol. It is time to see the shining light of Heretics, or otherwise the shield of HAVU. They need to defend their positions as the CT. And we'll see what their default will be. Do they actually predict this a B play? Because Heretics are going to be rushing it. Top spawn for B. Of course, they use that as their advantage. And look at this, HAVU. 2 players through short, 2 towards B by the looks of it. Although Saw might be a little bit late to the party. Hoodie's going to be again alone on B. This time again, a clutch round for him to at least grab a few frags. He gets the first. That's a good start. Unfortunately, he falls back to 4-on-4. And the retake is on. Jane caught in upper though. This allows HAVU for the control they need of lower and upper. With this, they can actually go for the retake successfully. But look at Slowy and Twixy. They play so smart. They play so retracted towards mid. Unfortunately, they still both die. Back to 2v2. Make it a 2-on-1. Jinx, last man standing. What a pistol this is turning out to be.
Seriously, the fact that Jinx as well is playing this sort of position from inside of window,
no.
taps onto Zorate. Oh my god, Saw.
Oh, he's gonna
Saw.
hold it. He's gonna get it. He's gonna get it. No way.
Oh my god, the fact that he just spins and gets it.
Oh, Lord.
The oldest trick in the book, and Jinx falls for it. HAVU take pistol, and what a way to start.
Just hold it. Just hold it. He doesn't care. Pros don't fake. Saw just saw it off his own hand, but he won with it. He beat Jinx with it. 9-7 HAVU win the pistol. But of Heretics, I'm not even surprised. Look at the force buy. This is a much better force buy than what HAVU have. And they won the round.
Seriously, right? Heretics. Couple of Kriegs. The Kriegs are so deadly in this sort of position as well.
Yep.
Especially with, yeah, just the fact that whilst they do have head armor, it's not going to matter too much. This Krieg is relentless. Jane on the Mac 10. Everyone on a rifle, though, that's the best part for Heretics. Every man has a rifle apart from Jane, and they don't even have a scout. They don't have any sort of deagle. Like you said, this buy round is essentially like better than HAVU's at the moment, and it already starts out a lot better as well. First kill onto Zore as he tried to go looking for some information on short. 2 FAMASs, an MP9 and a scout is all they have left to work with. Not a lot of utility, no defuse kits. Heretics have essentially put themselves in best case scenario here. If they take another frag or find some sort of map control, well, there is Logan. Heretics, this round should be in their hand now, even with the weapons that they have. Slowy on the A site with a scout, whilst he can hit some nutty shots. It's going to be sort of one in a big margin. Twixy will find one from the flanks, but then Slowy missing the first, misses the second. The flanks accounted for. Good trades by Twixy, though. Keeps the team alive, although Jane refrags. Swixie does manage to pick up a Krieg, and the bomb is down, so they essentially have to kill him off very soon or retrieve it. And well, Jane's able to do so. Fair enough. Swift scout headshot to wrap things up. Heretics, they win the buy round.
This is, again, such a weird start to the half once more. And Heretics, I'm not surprised they forced, right? I'm more surprised HAVU don't expect it. I'm more surprised that HAVU don't prepare for that, because surely they're aware of Heretics and their forces. They've seen them. If they have looked at any sort of their games or any game of theirs at all, they would know that this is coming every single time after every single pistol. And it is HAVU that have forced back a Scout, Deagle, CZ. And at this point, I'm just thinking, Heretics, you're fools if you lose this. You can't allow yourself to be caught here by those pistols one-on-one, losing rounds or losing players because of it. Surely they're aware of this themselves, that HAVU have forced back. And, well, Heretics, by the looks of it, they might be hitting short. This is a good idea. They will have themselves a nice opportunity to break the site. Even get a kill or two in the process. Getting away with a few free frags will always be very much beneficial. Zorre. Oh, again, with this position. We've seen him with the op here. He's been stellar with it. Unfortunately today, just a Deagle, or at least just now. Slowy, though. Interesting that he has the Scout instead of Zorre. We've talked about this before. Slowy, the first tag is his. The second, not really as much. Zorre somehow brings down Jinx, though.
Zorre.
Maka, refrag.
Oh,
Zorre.
Zorre.
Bane. Oh, what? Back to a 2-on-1. And Hamaka in a clutch round. Back to a 1-on-1. This is it. Hoodie. He's got the Deagle. One bullet. He wins this. Oh, Maka. Does he expect it? No, he doesn't expect CT.
Why would he not just plant there?
Yeah, that, and why would you walk into CT without checking it at least, right? Just swing the corner. Just check if there's somebody hiding.
Right.
Well, forced by, backed by Heretics. Oh man. What is this game turning out to be? And we're so hopeful that we might see a bit of a different grand finals, or at least a different series for the grand finals, but I'm not sure what we were expecting, really. Gonna be 10-8. Yep.
Could we have expected anything different here?
Well, I mean, we are kind of fools ourselves if we thought anything different
Exactly.
would come.
Yeah, exactly.
If you look at the past matches, basically, this is what was happening. For the majority of the matches we've had, this is what happened. So, oh my lord. We'll see.
Thankfully for HAVU, if they do win this sort of round, they can have them essentially tie the scoreline. It should be 10-10 if HAVU win this, but again, that is nowhere near confirmed yet.
Yeah.
Deep bomb site to be taken. They do have 2 men in the defense, though. That's smart. Better than playing just that single man B site. Zorre, good trade out. Yeah, round is gone. There we go. Maka down to a single point of health. 10-9 should be 10-10. HAVU at least adding a little bit of consistency here for this side, and should be getting away with the scoreline tied. So double digits for both squads. Heretics going into their first gun round for the next, of course, but this first map turning out to be quite the close ordeal, as expected. This is how we, this is exactly how we want the grand final to go.
I mean, this is what you would expect out of HAVU, to not lose against Force Buys, but they still did the first half. At least they're kind of trying to turn the tables here for the second one. Heretics still have a scout on David P. As long as he's alive with that scout, I'm not discounting Heretics out yet. We've seen Glocks win against full buys before, and I'm not going to be disbelieving it now. But with Slowy pushing lower, Hoodie finding one more, I guess in the end, with the scout dropped, this should confirm the 10th for HAVU, as you said, the tie as well with it. And at least, if nothing else, at least HAVU are going to be remaining a little bit stable in their CT side. But this is certainly a weird turn of events, as is. Never would have expected the finals to kick off in a manner like such. Interesting, he doesn't take the scout. Oh, okay, Slowy takes the scout, never mind. There we go. Most kills currently Maka, 18. Damn. Well, not surprised really. He is probably one of the better players on Heretics alongside, of course, David P. But gonna be 10 to 10 HAVU. There's the full buy. So the same for Heretics. A deagle for David P, of course, buying that scout cost him a lot of his money. Saw blinded out. I think they saw him. Jinx. Oh, D doesn't check pit. Jinx will still get a frag on Twixie. Zori with a kill of a Kobe on Jane. And this somehow is yet favoring HAVU, although not for long. Maka. He holds the line. Trades again. Back to 2-on-2.
HAVU getting good at these trades now. Getting so proficient at keeping the man advantage. Surely Hoodie hears David P running. He has to.
Oh,
Turns around entirely. He knows what's up. There we go. Perfect shot. 11 rounds for HAVU. They are now starting to pull away on this lead, considering that this was, what, an 8-2 for Heretics in this first half. HAVU now getting a nice little lead to go into the CT side, which should be looking like 12 as well. Confirmed an eco round for Heretics. And HAVU, slowly but surely, they are pulling away. And of course, with this being the map pick of HAVU, you kind of do want to see them get success on their own map pick. Realistically, how this final should go is HAVU winning Dust, Heretics pick up Inferno, then we go down to Nuke. That's how it should be. But with the way that HAVU have been performing recently, it's looking like HAVU, even with the sort of early lead that Heretics had, not phased them, not affected them one bit going into the second half.
That's a good sign. That's a very good sign. Just what you said here, that they are not phased by the early advantage of Heretics. It gives hope for HAVU. We've seen them choke too many at times to not believe the fact that they can choke hard, even with an advantage of their own. But if they make the comeback, if they make the plays back home, you know, it is doable. It is doable that they can take the series in their hands. Whew.
Interesting for a little bit of context of our second grand final. News just came out that Roger has been bought out of his contract with Copenhagen Flames. But when we say bought, we mean probably not a massive amount.
Yeah, just traded out.
Just
for like a beer and a pizza.
Probably ending a small fee of his contract of his buyout. It wouldn't be massive considering that CPH Flames, they were started like a fan funding site, I'm pretty sure. Like they got a lot of their funding from the fan
I actually do not
site
know.
Socio, I think.
Ah, okay. Good
But
insight.
yeah,
I didn't know that.
I doubt the buyout would be massive. So yeah, that's a really solid pickup for Tricks. We sort of touted who their replacement would be for Borup as he went to Heroic.
Yeah.
They had to find a player of similar stature as well. I mean,
Yeah.
Roger's current rating over the past 3 months is sort of 1.19, whereas Borup's is 1.18. So theoretically, they've actually got themselves a better statistical player.
Well, we'll see how he performs today.
Exactly.
The first challenge against Illuminar in the grand finals of the Summer Smash. But back to the grand finals at hand. Slowly with the up on peak on long. The entry is HAVU's and looking like they might be able to take it to 13. They've got the double up as well, Slowy and Zore, and I love this. You know why? Because once they pick up the double up, you know they're starting to grow confident. You know they're starting to grow a little bit ballsy, but good enough to still be able to take down their aggressive, or at least to kind of diminish their aggressive behaviors, so to not die too early on. Minute and 20 seconds. Heretics so far no reply yet. No map control effectively taken. Well, long if you count it for David P. Mid gotta be denied with smokes flying out everywhere. Nades as well trying to trample Jinx. Short control. Gotta be contested soon though. Twixie supported by Slowy as far as I can tell. Yep, this is a great double setup. This can work like a charm. If they find the first frag and fall back safely, they are ready for this hold. HAVU. This seems a lot better than what we've been watching out of them.
Yeah. They look so in control, right? That's the thing.
Yeah.
In some of their past series, especially in that Gambit Youngsters game. Oof, Logan. Just catching Twixie on the edge of the angle there, but yeah, HAVU finally, over these past sort of 2 or 3 series, have been the team that actually look in control. Which, when they are, we know they can make great things happen. Slowy peaks Maka.
Would have thought.
Shut down simply.
Slowy.
2 extra kills to be picked up, and well, it's all down to David P. Finds himself a first, but that's all he's going to get. 13 for HAVU. And they are on a tear. Only getting stronger now. They've taken that lead on the CT side. They know the game is essentially in their hands in the next sort of 5 minutes or so. Surely Heretics have to go for a buy round here. They have so much money on their side. Maka can even just buy up into whatever he wants to at this point. Mac 10 or even an AK with
You know what's the scary part? If they go for a buy round, they're going to be broken for the 14th of HAVU if they lose. So this is a pretty dire investment. And I wouldn't say dire as much as it is a very consequential investment. They lose this and they find themselves on a potential map point going to HAVU, which is the scary part. Heretics, they have to make this one work. End of story. There is no more deliberation whether or not they can make a comeback. This is HAVU's time. They brought up the heat. They're turning up the stove, and the water is starting to boil slowly but surely. And Heretics, they're not in for a nice map ending if they cannot win this gun round. HAVU, they locked out pretty much every attempt from Heretics for the last 3-4 rounds. You could see how well they've set themselves up, even with the double up. As I said, being as confident as they are, Slowy goes for the challenge against Maka. He still wins, when effectively that should never happen, right? Maka, the best opper currently on the server, one could argue, alongside Zorre, obviously. But even then, sometimes I would rather say Maka being the better op than Zorre. And it is a crazy time when you consider the fact that Slowy, the secondary opper, is shutting down everybody from short from Goose.
Yeah.
Well, Kieran, match pause. Continuing on, a tactical one for Heretics. And HAVU, this is their time to shine. This is their time to redeem themselves for the loss against Gambit Youngsters, for the loss that they had to go then through the lower bracket.
Yeah,
and show it to everybody. Yeah, exactly. Revenge. Even though it wasn't against Heretics that they lost. they just...
Heretics played no part in this, but they're the ones taking the full force of it.
They're unlucky with the fact that they're playing against them in the grand finals. And HAVU, they've had enough. They just want the prize money. They want to finish this tournament and be victors of it. Oh, nice shot by Zora. It doesn't get the kill, but the tag is there. David is well burning.
Look at the damage.
Look at the damage indeed. Jesus. Jinx, though, finds himself one. Good start. Twixie. This is what we saw against Unique yesterday. Twixie, too aggressive on long. He had died at least 2 or 3 times on long because of his overly confident plays. And this is exactly how they lost against Unique quite a few rounds in a row.
And thankfully, there is a lot of damage done, or else they would have been having to make up a lot of ground for the death of Twixie.
Yeah.
Jane, the only man on considerable points of health at the moment. 45 seconds on the clock. Zora is in a perfect position. Has the backup of Zorre as well. Short should not be being lost at this point. Saw is spotted though. Finally gets shut down. Logan tapping away. Zorre does return with a single kill though, so it does level it back off. And ooh, Jane getting a little aggressive. Flash. Perfect. Round is gone. 14 for HAVU. Scarily should be 15. They are getting close to taking away map 1 here.
Well, Logan with 15, he shouldn't really be able to do much, should he? Especially not against Hoodie with the SG. Maybe the ops he can take out. But yeah, when we say that, Zora, of course, proves us wrong. 14 to HAVU. Like I said, Heretics with the failed buy here and no bomb plant. The max loss bonus does give Jinx, Jane, and Logan enough money to rebuy. We could see potentially 3 AKs, maybe even... No, we can actually see 5 AKs with David P and Maka having no helmet. But that just puts them in an even worse position that they already are in. This should be HAVU 15 and Heretics on a full eco. Pistols and Kevlar buy-up, that's the only thing they can afford. Match pause, though, I presume Heretics has to be discussing their current chances, their current capabilities. I just pray we see pistols and Kevlar, that's it. You know, get a few mini Kevlars, get a few pistols, try to do a rush, try to be a little bit more sporadic, try to be less predictable in a way, try to surprise HAVU in a way that you know will work. And that is maybe a rush through mid, maybe a rush through long. You haven't really tried it yet. Maybe a rush through B. Just, you know, something that could catch HAVU off guard.
That's the thing, right? They have to bring something in this sort of round that spices things up a little bit. Because right now, Heretics, they're reading everything they do, or that they're doing at the moment. HAVU. Just one round is all they need to guarantee overtime security. 2 rounds to lock out the entirety of the first map.
I might add here that if they actually win the first map, that's going to be the most success they've had within recent days. Besides the win against Unique yesterday, that was something else entirely. Yeah. But it was also Train we were watching, a map that HAVU absolutely loved to play. So you know, it was also something different. Unique, it is as if it was not Unique, but somebody else basically. But yeah, this would be definitely one of their better endings, or at least on the edge of the better endings they've had within recent series.
Yeah. It's crazy how HAVU have essentially completed the lower bracket run that Illuminar did in Summer Smash.
The storyline of Illuminar, yeah. I was just about to say, exactly. Through the lower brackets, they rose
and
through
they
the
did
ranks.
it with an extra best of 3 as well.
Yeah.
They lost in the first upper bracket quarterfinal. Gambit Youngsters dropping them down, but then obviously 2-0 against Alternate Attacks, 2-0 against Dream Eaters, that 2-1 against Illuminar, that 2-0 against Unique. And now they're here potentially with the first map in their hands, looking to advance in the series and really give us a piece of what they're made of. As we discussed sort of yesterday, HAVU have not won an event since the mid-June. They've been in a few grand finals, been in a few finished LAN grand finals, but just not being able to get over the line. Placing second against Chaos back in OJ Counter Pit. They placed second against SJ in the sort of qualifier for the Arctic Invitational, but that's also like a finished line as well. They placed second in Assembly. A lot of second places. Now they're having the chance to make it a first place, and with a massive amount of prize money considering some of the events that they played in. I think like OJ Counterpit was like sort of 9k first place, whereas obviously this is doubles.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is a lot riding on HAVU, but they're really showing just how good they are. 3 kills already found.
Good action.
15.
This should be 15, yeah, no doubt. Hoodie, good night. He's going to be caught, but as you said, right, HAVU, they're thirsty for first place. They're thirsty to finally achieve a meaningful first place. And, you know, prove to everybody that they're not washed up yet, that this squad is, in fact, just warming up for the future.
That's the thing, right? This HAVU side. If we remember sort of HAVU of what, 2017? Back with Sergey.
Oh, yeah, the old lineup. Oh.
The old lineup, yeah. Sergey was what? Playing in Skit Light when he was like 14, 15.
Such a young player, man. He was
joined HAVU when he was
16,
I think
was he not?
Still 15.
Oh, 15, yeah.
I know he was there for like what, 18 months, something like that, before he went to ENCE. So yeah, I think right now he's like 17, right?
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure
17 or 18, or
yeah.
I'm not sure if he's actually already an adult, or at least, you know, come of age at 18. But yeah, still crazy player.
He's
crazy
actually
good.
Yeah, he's 17.
Ah, he is, okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
So yeah, he was playing what, 3 years? He was 14 when he played in Skit Light.
Hot damn. Which
was when we saw them on the Nisalan.
Oh, that
of 2017.
Nordic.
Yeah.
I remember one.
Yeah, and then he re-signed to Skit Light when he was still like 15. Joined HAVU when he was 15. Stayed there for 6 months, and then obviously he was out of contract for like 6 months, and then joined ENCE. So yeah, he's such a young talent, but this HAVU side seeming to be matching their achievements at the moment, and could outbetter them in the next 3 months. If this side goes on the trajectory that we imagine them to, this side could be easy. Top 35, top 30.
No problem. Like, absolutely rising through the ranks, and potentially contesting for the top on the world, for the top of the world. Maybe not the very top, but certainly quite close. Hoodie, the entry again to HAVU. And once more, we start off with a bang. HAVU open up the first frag. And Slowy might be low, but with 50 seconds on the clock. This is the last march of Heretics. They lose this round, that is map 1 done, and Dust goes down in dusts and ashes. And, oh, Slowy. Oh, man. This is turning out to be, again, a one-sided round, as if we never stopped the progression of HAVU. And, well, I'm not that surprised it's been turning out like this. Zorre on the edge of the smoke. Zorre. He doesn't see the one way, but he's at 1 HP. Saw goes through, though. Logan punishes that. Logan the second. And all of a sudden, Logan the third. Jesus, Logan sounds like a king from France, the third and the fifth. And, well, Jinx will shut down Zorre. Back to 1 and 2 and HAVU.
Oh, the time. The time.
Oh.
There's no time. There's no time to plant the bomb.
He
There's
cannot
no time.
He cannot plant. Oh, no. No.
Oh my god, the fact that we end the map in that fashion. Look at HAVU's CT side, though. They dropped a single goddamn round.
Wow. Wow. Just wow. That is pure wowzers there. HAVU, well played. That is what we wanted to see out of them, and that is exactly what we get. Beautiful, beautiful CS from the Finns, and they're bringing themselves back up to speed.
Wow. Getting themselves the first map already is a massive achievement, especially with this veto being so close. The fact that all the maps that we play at the moment are played by every single team. I mean, HAVU and Heretics, they're so close on Dust too, like 10% win rate difference, 17% difference on Inferno. HAVU, though, seeming to have a very good map pool at the moment.
Crazy,
actually sort of matching. They're not there of like a Gambit Youngsters map pool at the moment, but they're getting really close. Like, well, every one of their maps, apart from Vertigo, which is one that they play very, very rarely. They'll play it if they have to. But, I mean, the majority of their maps, 5 out of the 7, are above 50%, above 60%, actually. So,
very
yeah,
skillful.
Heretics. They're going to have to be very careful going into Inferno, considering that HAVU, less maps play, better win rate, though.
Well, Heretics, the good start they have seems to have meant for nothing, or has been for nothing at all, because they didn't get more than a single round on T's side. That is something that should concern them, and hopefully they've got something else prepared for Inferno. Ladies and gentlemen, our second map will be coming up in about 10 minutes' time. The grand finals of the Loot.bet CS League Season 3 is here, and we have HAVU versus Heretics. First map to HAVU now, Inferno, our second one, potentially the last one of Season 3. Stay tuned, and we'll be back after a short break.
Loot.bet, made for live betting.
Fireflies, a million little pieces, feeds the dying light and brings me back to life. In your eyes, I see something to believe in. Your hands are like a flame, your palms are sweet as pain. Let the darkness lead us into the light. Let our dreams get lost, feel the temperature rise. Baby, tell me.